This is Danny Lugs, back already with another tier list. I found myself with some spare time. As you already know, I am old, I got kids, I got no fucking time. This is the big one that I've been wanting to do forever and ever and ever and ever is talk about my favorite video game franchise, Final Fantasy. It's been done to death on the internet. So many opinions. I mean, people get fucking crazy over this franchise. What's the best? Fuck you for liking this. How dare you talk shit about that? Can't slag this. How dare you praise that? It's wild. It's wild. I made one Final Fantasy video recently, and it was wild, the opinions. I never knew people had. Look, quickly, my deal is I've been alive for the entirety of this franchise. I've seen literally every single game come out here in North America, right? I've been there for every single one. Have I been there like waiting, buying it day one as a fan? No. But I've been there. I've been aware. So I've been with this franchise for the most part the whole time. And it has become my favorite franchise. Probably in the most cliche, basic bitch way, which we'll get to. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, I'm well versed in the franchise, and it's just my favorite. It's just the way it is. I'm not going to say it's the best video game franchise of all time. It's my personal favorite. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to talk about it as usual. 6-point tier, right? You got your typical grades. You go to school, you know, that bullshit. A, B, C, D, F. And then S is the ultimate, you know, fucking tippy top of the cock, you know, praise Jesus, Allah, fucking hell Satan, whatever you want to pray to. That's the fucking, the Holy Grail, right? The Holy Grail of shit. Top of the shit. The shit. And then, you know, the F. The F is to fucking, you know, you worthless. You failed at what you were trying to do. Big failure. Big time. All right, so I got some little notesies, and I'm going to talk about a little my brief history with each game, and I'm going to tell you where I think they belong. This isn't the most perfect tier page that I can find. It's the closest that I can find to what I want to talk about. There's ones with every little side game and every little bullshit. I don't care. Maybe another time. I've played a lot of those too. I haven't. There's most of them I haven't touched. I don't really care. I'm talking about the main shits. All right. This is mostly the main shits that I want to include. Some I won't, but here we go. Final Fantasy 1, the original. 1987 in Japan, 1990 North America. I was very aware of this in the day. I was born in 82. So this game came out in 87. I was 5. Well, it came here in 90. I was 8. And I do remember by then, by 8 years old, I had a subscription to Nintendo Power. They had the damn they sent you with a subscription the entire strategy guide for Final Fantasy 1. So for years this game was only this strategy guide. Me as a kid thumbing through it, looking at the images, looking at the game, being interested, never really touching it or picking it up. I do recall, I have a memory of when I was 8, I lived in Jersey for a year, and I remember the kid next door was playing it. And it was one of those moments I remember having the thought clearly, it being the first time I ever saw turn-based JRPG. Okay, that's a lie. I grew up owning Dragon Warrior, aka Dragon Quest. I had that game on Nintendo. I've played it. I was always interested in it. I never liked it that much, but it was always appealing to me that I would go back and try again. And I sucked at it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand the style back then. I was fucking 8 years old, right? This kid did, apparently. But, you know, the kid next door was playing Final Fantasy. And it was just one of those, it's one of those. Yeah, I like Zelda. I like to press a button and my sword swings, right? Real time. So, with that in my brain, for a long time, I dismissed this fucking series. But I was very aware of it at the time. I never got Origins in '02. then. I eventually did for collection's sake, but I played it fully on a Nintendo cartridge. I want to say maybe like a year later, like 03, 04, at some point while I was in college. Just, I remember being homesick, like something really bad. Like I was out for like a fucking week, like I was fucked up. And I managed to buy 2 old Nintendo cartridges off a buddy of mine, one being Final Fantasy and one being Balloon Fight. But I just wanted to have the original Final Fantasy on a cartridge. I never had it. So while I was homesick for like a week, I played this game. That's when I played it for the first time. And by that point, I'd already played whatever was in the series up until then, at least up until like 10, right? Like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But playing this game for the first time, and then I played it again, The Dawn of Souls on the GBA. I played it on PSP. PSP, I think, is the best version with the animations and if you don't want to count the new pixel remasters. Final Fantasy 1 is a classic jam, as you know. It introduced a lot of things to the genre, a relatively new genre. It's kind of like, if Dragon Quest is Black Christmas, then Final Fantasy 1 is Halloween. Yeah, Black Christmas was first, but Halloween popularized the slashers. So this brought in with the seeing your character and seeing the animations, that kicked the fucking door open. That was big time. So, is it great? Is there much of a story? No, but for a classic turn-based JRPG, like it work. I mean, like it's broken in some ways in the original. Like shit just doesn't work. Like the thief abilities, like the stats it's supposed to get just doesn't work. And with certain weapons too, like it's broken in some ways. But as it has been refined over the years, like this is a solid classic game that you could play with it and pick your different jobs and make your own formation of jobs. And like, do you want to beat the game with all fucking white mages? Do you want to beat the game with all red mages? Do you want to beat the game with one person? There's some freedom for fun to be had. So in that retrospect, without like actual characters or really so much of a strong story, what they do give you as a starting point for the story and the ending with the time loop and everything, I think it's enough for its time that I think it lands right here in the B. It's as far as you can give it. I mean, if you want to hold it in a higher regard, that's fine. I think that to put it down any lower is just you disrespecting like what this game did and what it was at the time. Likewise with 2, you could surface level look at 2 and see they added more of a story, a narrative. They added characters with actual names. You get chocobos now and a Cid and a lot of the things that we see in Final Fantasy in the franchise beginning here. The problem is the game sucks. The game itself really fucking sucks. You can say face value, yeah, there's characters now. They don't have character. Again, it's it's the 80s still. It's 1988 that they made this game, and it never came to the States till Dawn of Souls, or the Origins. Yeah, the Origins in 2002, and then Dawn of Souls, and I didn't play it till Dawn of Souls in 03. I probably got it in like 04, and I played this game. Finally, just like, oh, that elusive game, the one never came here. 2 and 3 were always like the big mystery. Granted, 2 and 3 I played on ROMs throughout the years, and never getting that far. But I played it through then, and the game sucks because number one, everybody knows there's no levels. It's a skill up system. You're skilling up all your different abilities, your health, your defense, how you can use weapons, how you can use magic, each magic spell. You have to level up each and every single individual thing, which isn't a bad idea in practice here. It's just, it's super grindy. It's super fucking boring. And if you just sit there and attack yourself, it's broken. You just just build up your defense like right off the bat. Like there's nothing to cap you along the way. Like you could just break this game wide open. So it's either like dumb, easy, broken, or boring and frustrating. And especially because you lose a character, you get a rotating like fourth chair of people that just sacrifice themselves and die over and over. So it's boring and predictable. And then when you get that character back, everybody else is super skilled up and he's nothing. And you have to like get him up to snuff to beat the game. It's a frustrating game. It's a frustrating game. And it's just, if you want that style, you're better off playing like 1 or 3. If you want to play a classic style, I think this game fails. I think it just fails. It's a failure of a game. It's the worst game in the franchise. That's it. 3. Another game. 1990 in Japan, didn't come here till the DS version, 3D version in '06. And then that same version, which I played, PSP 2012. That's when I played it for the first time. Actually, I think I played it on my fucking phone, that version. 3 is okay. It's kind of boring. It's also lacking in the story. Again, it's early, you know. It's early in the series. We're not there yet. It's the first implementation of the job system fully. You can pick jobs in 1, but then they're static. You can change jobs throughout the game. It was the first one, so you could do it in a real archaic way. It wasn't perfected or smoothed out until 5, but so that's interesting. I don't think it's a better game, like more of a solid game to play than the first one. And again, looking at it over time, looking at it in 2022, I think it's like kind of obsolete. Like there's great themes you can get out of it with the Warriors of Darkness and the story behind Xande and the immortality deal. The siblings immortal, and he was, resentful that he didn't have that gift, and there's some good themes there, but to me it's fucking obsolete to 5. You want the jobs, play 5. There's more of a fun story in 5, and I put it in the C. I put it in the C tier. They tried to give characters. I mean, they were just the Onion Knights. They tried to give them characters in when it finally came to the States with the game names and shit. But like again, like 2, they're not really characters. There's nothing really going on here. 4, on the other hand, this is a revolutionary title in the genre and in the franchise. You now have full-on characters, like a deeper story. 4 is a great game. It came out as Final Fantasy 2 because the last 2 didn't come out. Everyone knows the story. I'll just fucking go through it. In 91, Japan and America in 91 as 4 and 2 respectively. But I think I purchased it for the first time with the Final Fantasy Chronicles, where it's 4 and Chrono Trigger in one package. They also had a 3D remake that came out on the DS. There's a GBA version. I mean, 4, 5, and 6 all have GBA versions. But the one I really like, when I finally... I played ROMs throughout my whole life, but when I finally sat down to play through it, is on the PSP, 2011 rather. And that came with the after years, but smoothed out graphics, dope animations. It's just like the smoothest way to play it, I think, even more so than the Pixel remaster. But anyway, 4 is a great game, has great characters. I think it's a little overrated, a little bit to the degree that people say it. Some people still say it's the best in the series. I don't agree. I think it's great. I just think it's not that level. It's not like that top tier. It's for me two reasons, just two reasons. Otherwise, the game is great. Yeah, it's preposterous. Shit goes off the rails. You fly a fucking whale to the moon, but like, it's not more ridiculous than a lot of the other shit in the series. So that's not the issue. What I'm saying is, the gameplay for one. Yes, you get the ATB, the birth of the ATB. That's a time battle, and you can take or leave that if you like that or not. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. The jobs. The gameplay, everybody has jobs, but like the gameplay is static to me. It's just everyone has a job and then you just learn shit as they go along. There's no like JRPGs are more fun to me. Like I'm like a big like menu system gear management guy. That's fun to me. Like loadouts and putting your character together and equipping them with shit. Even just in a minor way. I just feel like there's not much to that in this game. It's Final Fantasy 1, you at least you pick the jobs you want, your party set up. 3, you change jobs. 2, you could skill up the things you want to skill up. As shit as I hate that game, you don't really have any choices or freedom in this game, and that's just personal taste for sure. What I don't think is personal taste is the story, because there's great shit in the story, there's great characters in the story, but fucking the bulk of this game is you go somewhere to a crystal and Golbez shows up and takes it. And someone sacrifices themselves to die, but then you find out later in the game they're not really dead. It happens over and over and over again. It's kind of lazy. The fucking writing is kind of fucking lazy. That's just my opinion. All that said, though, just in terms of this franchise, it's still here. It's still like that good of an experience. Those things that I said hold it back from what people think it is as being in the top. I mean, me personally, like my personal favorites of the franchise, I'd probably put it in B, but I'm being a little more objective here. Yeah, of course this is all subjective, but whatever. I gotta at least give it its due there, right? The after years, it's like who gives a shit about this? It's just the same places again. It's the same locations of 4, and you're the Cecil's fucking son, and you don't care, and the story sucks, and it's in chapters, and it's garbage. Who gives a fuck? No one cares about this. No one likes it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I played most of it, and I was bored to tears. So goodbye. 5. I really like Final Fantasy V. Another one that took a while to get to the States. I guess the Japanese thought it was too hard. I don't see it. In Japan, 92. Anthology version, which is in 99. That's where I bought it for the first time and played it for the first time. Yeah, I think I also played ROMs of this early on with translations. Another, of course, GBA port in 06. I played the anthology version of this shit on the PlayStation, which sucks. The load times suck. I got really far in this game. Very, very fucking far. And kind of gave up at some point. But was always intrigued by it. Always wanted to go back to it. And I tried to go back to it many, many, many times. Always putting it down. Until the Pixel remaster like last year. And I played through the whole thing. Or earlier this year. I forget. I always thought 5 was good. Now I think it's great. Yes, the characters, the story, it's not up to par with some of the more serious shit. It's a little silly. It's a little off the fucking rails. But you know what? It's a great time. And the job system, if you like that kind of shit, it's really customizable. Granted, when you really learn the game, you kind of really one way to do it. Like the shit you need to level up, you fucking level up. But you have the freedom, you have the options. You can have fun with the changing of the jobs and learning the skills and mixing and matching the skills. I think that as a gameplay system is better than most of this fucking series. And the story is still fun. And it has a lot to offer in that regard. So, and with some alright endgame content too. Probably like the first one in the series with a bit of a little sizable chunk of endgame stuff to do. So that was a step in the series. So that's an A. Ski for 5. I think everybody knows it, where this goes. It's right here. This is one of the greatest video games of all time. 1994 on the Super Nintendo. This was the first Final Fantasy game I ever actually attempted to play. In its day. I played a good chunk of it, like maybe like a quarter to a third of it. I put it down. I was still on the I don't like turn-based, but this was my first I'm going to give turn-based a fucking shot. I liked it. It was just one of those I put it down and just did something else. I did not continue at the time. Later on, I went back to this game. Obviously, I've played it multiple times since then. The characters, the story, the events of this game, the villain, Kefka, the fact that he destroys the world and you have a whole last third of this game, or even half of it, just in the world of ruin, and like, this game is fucking amazing. And every character with their own storylines, with their own like emotional threads, that it just all works. And the gameplay system from the Espers, now we're getting into just like 5, 6, 7, 8. We're in that stretch of every character can do everything, but they still have their own little job personality tweaks, where like, everybody has their own command that kind of relates to a Final Fantasy job, but you equip them with the Espers, they learn the magic, it also messes with their stats, so there's a lot of thought you could put into how you want to mold each character. Because the Espers, it took me like how many maybe a couple playthroughs of this game before I fucking realized that like they actually change the stats of the character as you learn shit off of them. Yeah, well, I'm a fucking idiot, but it's deep. It's deep enough that it's interesting, and it all works, and it's one of the few that's like, you can't argue that the top tier are the cream of the crop. They really fucking outdid themselves with this. And this is the end of this style, this old sprite based style of Final Fantasy. This was the magnum opus of that shit. So now 1997, when we move into the PlayStation era, the PlayStation trilogy, Final Fantasy VII. Yes, I am that motherfucker. I am that guy. No. I am that guy who this was the first one that I played through fully. I always liked 6. I was interested in 6. I never finished 6. 7 comes out. It was a big fucking deal, right? Everybody knows it. It fucking blew up the genre. Everybody got on board. It was one of those things, man. It was maybe months later, probably into 98 at this point now. And I'm at my cousin's house. I'm crashing there. I rummage through his games. Final Fantasy VII's there. I go, you know what? Let me see what the fucking fuss is about, right? Pop it in, and guess who didn't sleep that night? Guess who stayed up till the fucking sun came up and like blasted out the like entire Midgar section without a fucking memory card, right? So yeah, and then I was done. I was in. So I think my PlayStation was busted, or I might not even had one yet. I borrowed this game on PC because it came out on PC in 98. I borrowed it from a friend in high school, and I played it on the PC. And then there I was every fucking night. My mom used to work nights. She'd come home late at night with me on the fucking computer yelling at me to go to fucking sleep. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. This shit took over my fucking life. And since then, on everything and every single fucking thing that this game has come out, I've bought it, beat it on it. I've probably played through this game like 20 times. It's the game I've beaten and played through the most in my life. It is my favorite game of all time. Yes, I am a 7 mark. It belongs in the S tier. The characters, the storytelling, just the iconic looks of this game, the imagery, just everything about this fucking game, it belongs in the top tier. Any hate on this fucking game, I just don't want to fucking hear it. I'm not going to be talking about the remake shit. I'll probably do another tier once all those games come out. Final Fantasy VII Remake, also a great game, has its issues. I still love it. That's a different conversation. We're not here for that today. But Final Fantasy VII is S tier. I mean, I can go on and on about Final Fantasy VII, but everybody's probably fucking tired of it. If you hate this game, if you just call it fucking like, oh, you're a fucking teen edgelord, like fucking whatever, like emo shit, it's like, okay, what? The villain is a guy who's dressed in black and fucking hates the world and wants to destroy it? Take it easy. Like, okay, whatever, right? RPG villain, JRPG villain, 101, you know? Then the whole genre is that. Just shut the fuck up. Final Fantasy 8. 99.99. What a day in my life. No, I never bought a fucking Dreamcast. But 9 Inch Nails The Fragile and Final Fantasy 8 after coming off of 7. By the way, after 7, that's when I went back and just really just the whole franchise. I was with it fully into JRPGs. I'm all in now, right? 8 is a game, man. It really it was. I was super with it at the time. The hype was fucking real. People love this fucking game. People call it the best. They really this gets so much flack for fucking being emo, but Squall's fucking emo. Like Cloud's not fucking emo. Like if you motherfuckers are playing Kingdom Hearts, right? Or you watch Advent Children, yeah, okay. This Cloud is not fucking emo. This motherfucker is emo. This motherfucker, oh, whatever, man. You know, like this fucking guy and this bullshit love story. Now, look, I like this game. I do. I like it. It's got likable characters, likable themes. To me, it's the best ending in the franchise. Like, the time loop business, I love that shit. That shit's great. Yeah, this or 9 best endings, right? Fuck 10. Anyway, 8. It's broken. It's another broken game. I understand the junction system, but you have a game where monsters don't scale, and it's all. The monsters do. They scale to your levels. So it's never like the feeling of a JRPG where you can grind or you work through a game and now you're stronger than shit that you needed to be stronger than. This shit is just fucking draw a million spells, junction the right ones to the right fucking stats, and then become a fucking unstoppable beast. If you do it right, which it's not hard to figure out, once you get into disc 2 of 4, you just murder the game. And then it's just dumb easy. And then you're just watching the story, which after the second disc, once you're in the second disc, goes off the fucking rails. Again, it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride, but it's ridiculous. It's silly. Again, I still like this game. I do. It's not at that level. It just the way the story is just so preposterous. I mean, everybody knows the fucking they all lived in an orphanage and then they all forgot because of the summons. Like, I know there's silly shit in other games, but there's no bigger silly plot device than that in this whole franchise. So, it's a B. It's a B, and I feel like it's the most linear of the franchise. Again, these games are linear. Like, there's open areas to go and maybe some side diversions, but it's mostly there's a one way to progress through the game, right? That's what linear is. So, but I just feel like this one you really like throughout most of the traversal of this world until you get to like doing endgame stuff. It feels like you're just kind of a little bit in a straight line. To me, that's what and I played it again recently. That's what it feels like. But yeah, there you go. Final Fantasy 8 beats here. Final Fantasy 9. Everybody knows exactly where this belongs. Not there. It belongs here. And then now you have the fucking Holy Trinity, the trifecta. These are the three that I say are the cream of the crop. You want to tell me any one of these is the best in the franchise? Fine. I'll even accept an argument for some of the shit I'm going to put in A, but that's it right there. For me. You know, the for me right there. That's the creme de la creme. The year 2000, I played it in the day. This probably has the tightest story. I mean, the cast of characters. I think it's these three games, the stories, of course, but also the casts of these top three in the S tier here that I have. That's what really the main thing that make them the best. They have the best casts of characters, you know, and also to me the best stories. That's why they're there. I mean, we're here for the stories, but like the gameplay, like you can make them what you want with the espers in 6. The materia system of 7, that's like showing you early on in JRPGs, like making loadouts. Sure, there's no jobs in 7, but you have the highest of custom ability with the materia to load out each character how you want them to be set up. 9 is the one that's lacking between these three, because it is a little bit more static. Much like 4, everybody just has a set job, and instead of just learning shit as you level up, you learn stuff through you do learn your abilities as you level up, but then you can learn like little abilities that you can equip through your equipment, and that shit is cute. And you do have a fucking like choices to make per battles, like, but it's more of just like you go into a battle and it's like, oh, I should have like equipped the ice resistance deal, and then go back in it and survive. Or like, oh, I need to put float on because these things cast fucking comet. It's it's not that interesting, but the cast and the story, the story and the tale this takes you on, it's arguably the best in the whole franchise. Again, just like 6 and like 7, everybody has their own arc and their own story to tell. Just Vivi's story alone, he's my favorite character in the whole franchise. Just his whole dealing with his mortality and what life means to him as this black mage. I'm not going to go into too much about what that means. Play the game for your fucking self. It's fucking amazing. Final Fantasy 9, it's in the S tier there. I mean, not much else to say. 10 is another fucking game that people consider the best in the series. I'll accept an argument. I can understand why this is somebody's favorite. I feel like it's also age related, me being the age I am. I just like more, you get more with the older style. The game itself is a great game. I don't mind that it's more of a linear journey, like walking down. It's just you're taking a journey, like of all the games, you really feel like you're going on this pilgrimage in this game. Like the story of this game of taking Yuna to a literal pilgrimage to where she has to ultimately sacrifice herself to save the world type of deal. So it kind of is fitting for the story that you're just kind of walking down the highway or walking through this area or whatever, and there's no world map. I think that works just fine. It was a harsh transition for me at the time. Now, the characters can speak, and they're kind of corny. I never really like the characters that much. They're a little corny. The story, a lot like 4, it's kind of like opens good, ends good. A lot of the shit in the middle is doing the same thing over and over, so it's a little lazy and a little boring. It's still a good game. The combat for the turn-based, probably the best in the series, and that's where this game really is really. People love the characters and they love the story, but I feel like the real ones know this game's got the fucking battle. So it's not my jam. It's nowhere near my favorite, but objectively, it goes here. It's that quality. It belongs. It belongs here. So that's where it's gonna go. 10-2. I've played. Oh yeah, well 10 I played when it came out, right? 2001, 2002. What do we got here? 2001, right? I'll just say 10-2 right now. What is 10-2? 10-2 is 2003. I think I got it, played a little bit of it. I don't care. Who cares? I mean, I guess the battle is the same, and like the changing of the jobs. You have a job changing system here, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, I hated the ending of 10 with the he was just a ghost dream fucking deal. So now it's all just trying to find him some more. Like, I don't care, you know? Like, it could probably go higher if for the I just I don't give a fuck. So 11 and 14 in terms of online games. I have an extensive history with 11. Came out in '02 on PS2, and I think it came out on PC in '04. Yeah, no. It came out in 2002, but then I started playing after Chains of Prometheus came out in 2004. So I think in like 2005, I started playing this game, and I played it for like 2 years straight. And I fucking love 11. I love this fucking game. I had so much fun in this game. I can understand if, like, now looking back on it, it's so fucking archaic. But at the time, man, this is where it was fucking at, bro. This is where it was at, bro. If you weren't fucking shouting in Juno for some shit, what were you doing with your life? This is the game. This was a fucking blast, bro. I'm gonna still. They probably shouldn't even be ranked the online shit, but this is from my personal. For me, like, I love 11. Dark Knight Elf, so I was fucking useless. But when your buddy's a paladin and you're a package deal, then you get fucking parties. But I had a fucking great time with 11. I fucking love Final Fantasy 11. I would love a single player or offline style of 11, like just like not literally 11, but in the style of 11, a single player game. Because much like 2, you skill up your shit, but it works here. It works for the online game. It works for like you are one character building yourself in a Final Fantasy world, skilling up all your shit. That shit works here. And this shit it was a fucking great time. It was, yeah, we'll never have it back again. It's still running, but like, why when it's 14? Love 11. 12 is not my shit. 2006, played it in the day. I think I played it up to the final dungeon, got bored, and I never beat this fucking game. I never actually just went into the final dungeon and beat it. I picked it up again recently on the Switch just to play at work. Like, hey, maybe I'll fucking run through this shit. Finally. I don't get it. It's well made. The quality is there. That Final Fantasy fucking quality is there. But goddamn, the world is boring. The characters are bland. The story is boring. This game is fucking boring to me. And that, like, fugazi fucking... Is it turn-based? Is it fucking real-time? It looks like real-time, but it's not like you can really dodge. I appreciate the Gambit system. For the fucking game they're trying to make, it doesn't fail, per se. Like there's an interesting way of setting up your party with the proper gambits and just walking through the world and killing shit. There's a satisfaction to that, right? To like a Rube Goldberg machine, like you set up the fucking contraption and then you just sit back as it works. There's absolute satisfaction to that. And it's what keeps me trying to come back to it. Like, oh, I want to do that shit. Like I want that satisfaction, but it feels so not Final Fantasy in its world. Like it's just, I don't know, man. It never fucking clicked to me. I don't feel this shit at all. I try and I try and I try again, but it's just it's not happening. It's not happening for me. But for the quality, it goes here. That's how I see it. That's how I view it. It's probably a B, but this is a personal shot. This is a personal shot. 12 Revenant Wings on the DS. I don't know who. I'm not even gonna fucking put this anywhere. I never even touched this game. I don't know who the fuck played this fucking game. I think fucking JR played this game. God bless him. He also played fucking Dragon Quest 9 on the DS, so he's doing the Lord's work out there. But who gives a fuck about 12 Revenant Wings? I don't fucking know. I don't even know what goes on in that fucking game. Who gives a shit, right? Final Fantasy 13 to 2010. I played it in the day. First convention ever, cosplaying as Snow because I'm a fucking mark. A trick ass mark, right? 13, man. 13 is a funny, it's a funny fucking game. It's I played it then. I liked it because I'm a Final Fantasy mark. I got into the batshit stupid ass story at the time. I got into the characters at the time, and they aren't bad characters. I think Lightning is a good character. But the world is so weird, and the game is just too. All these things are linear, but when you literally walk in a straight line, it's fucking boring. And the pacing of this game, it's horrendous. It's worth a playthrough if you're a fan of this series. But you really don't like is one thing about you play like Final Fantasy VII was 5 to 6 hours in Midgar, and then the real game fully opens up to its potential of what you're going to be doing, walking through the world, exploring, and continuing on your journey. You can't. It's more than 10 hours. This game before it's you have all your tools and all your pieces in place to experience how just the battle system is supposed to work fully. It takes forever. It's doled out to you so slowly. It's so boring. It's so bad. The battle, once you get going, is fun. And when you get to that open world area and you're just killing shit, it's kind of fun. And there's some dope visuals and there's some good moments and little set pieces. But fuck this game, it's like you can like even if you're a fan of the series, it's like why put yourself through this game and go back and play it? Like it's a fucking D for just a fucking disgraziata Bhutan, bro. It's just really it's a shame too because there's some stuff there's some interesting things with the fucking I mean it's a lot of gibberish. It's a lot of gibberish shit in the story, but like I get it. The gods and they dole out fucking like sentences to you that you things you got to do or else you turn into a fucking zombie. Like there's some cool shit, but this game could use a rebook. Like just redo the whole game and make it fun. There you go. 13-2 on the other hand, 13-2 is a way better game. Like they really went in there and tried to make up for the fucking straight boring linearity of the last game. So 2012, I got it then, I played it then. I like this game a lot. It's also batshit nonsense, silly fucking dumb shit story, but it makes sense in its own world. But like the thing is, it's a cool like the whole game is played from this one menu of areas, and you go into them and you explore them. There's different things to do in them. There's different little quests to do in them, and depending on what you do, what you find, you open up more areas of the game or like past versions, future versions, alternate universe versions of these zones, which you get to play again and do different shit. I think that's a cool ass fucking idea. I think that's fun, and there's just they threw in so many elements. They threw in like the little Pokemon, get your little monster, like cultivate your third party member, Pokemon style elements. I think that's fun. I like when they put that shit in games, like Ni no Kuni, like collecting animals and building them up, just not Pokemon itself. Anyway, I think this is a good game. I think this is a fun game. I think people sleep on this fucking game. They lump it into the 13 series. I'm gonna give it a B ski. They lump it in, and they say it's all trash. And yeah, it's dumb shit. But I think you can go back to this game and have some fun. And when the battle's cooking right away, you don't have to do 10 hours to get the battle working. And this battle system is actually fun when it works fully. So I think that this is your prime example, your prime way to experience this style that they came up with in Final Fantasy. And people slag 13 and the whole series. Oh, it's auto battle. 12 is fucking auto battle when you set it up right. But I gave it its praise. This is not auto battle. Like it's not the The choices in the battle is not the to attack or not. You're just attacking automatically when you hit in the auto shit, but it's the it's the changing of the paradigms. It's the changing of the jobs. It's the figuring out the flow. It's like a dance, you know. You figure it out, you do it. When you make it work, you do it right. Granted, once you get the hang of it, it's kind of easy, but it's fun to a degree. I'll give it the credit for that. So there you go. Lightning Returns, 2014. I never played it then. I stayed away from it. It didn't interest me. I've played it a little bit since then. It's whatever. I think everybody knows where this game belongs. It's just if you want this battle, just play it here. This is boring. With a goddamn Majora's Mask time limit deal there. I can't speak too much about it. It just goes here with the either bad or who gives a shit, right? 14 original. We know they fucked it up. They failed completely. Completely. They tried to make 11 again, but worse. And the rest of the MMORPG world was light years past that. And everybody hated this piece of shit. So much so, they remade it. And now, I'm not going to... This tier deal has all the fucking expansions for 14. I've played all of them except for Endwalker. I quit this fucking game. It was taking over my life. And I love 14, A Realm Reborn. The whole package, I'll just call it this, right? And it goes up here. I love this game. It's probably here. Like, let's be honest, right? But it's still online. I just gotta separate it. You know, I don't get any parties in 11 because I'm a fucking Dark Knight, and then goddamn, I'll be a white mage. I'm a medic. I'm a healer. I'm gonna get parties all day, and then I realize, it doesn't really matter because it's instance. You don't have to stand in a town square and say, "Hey, pick me, please. I'd like to do some stuff. I'm a Dark Knight." You know? Oh, do you have a healer? No, it doesn't matter anymore. So it's funny the way that works out. But I love 14. I just had to give it up. Can't do it. Like I said, I got fucking kids. 15. Divisive big time. They fucked up this game. Everybody knows they fucked up this game. It was in development hell. They had to throw Nomura off this fucking game. Go finish Kingdom Hearts 3. Let someone else come in here, cobble together what pieces of shit they have, and put something out. So they got rid of the whole, like, quote-unquote Midgar section beginning of this game. Made it a movie. That sucks. Start you off on your little boy band road trip, which I know I'm speaking pejoratively, but like I don't mind that. I think the main 4 characters are cool. I dig it. I dig the idea of you're in a car and driving streets, and it's like almost kind of like a real world, but then you'll just run into Final Fantasy monsters on the road. It's like this surreal, like almost like a fucking dream. I think that's really cool, and I think that like that idea should be brought up again and done again. I just think that they fucked it all up here. They made it a giant open world map that doesn't really work for telling this story, with a million shit side quests that you do nothing, and there was probably tons of story in this game. Like there was supposed to be the whole like World of Ruin deal. I think there was supposed to be way more with the love interest character. I already forgot her name, Luna, I think. Which got cut out. Like she does nothing and then is good and then dies. It just there's a skeleton there for something good. But I think it just got development hell. It just got fucked up. This could have been something good, I think. And the battle system is broken as well. It's just buy a million potions, you'll never die, and just press the dodge button and you're good. It's boring in that respect. Yet I platinum this fucking game. It was just one of those like I'm gonna fucking do everything in this goddamn game. I can do everything in this game because it's so divisive. It's one of those like no one's gonna be able to tell me that I didn't play this game if I have something bad to say about it. But it's unfortunate. I wanna like it. I wanna like it, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. As far as the tactics games go, I I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I suck at it. I try every couple of years to get back into it and go further, and I get further every time. I think it's a great game. Everyone knows it's got the quality, it's got the storytelling, it's got the it's just this style of game. It's a tactics ogre game, and I'm just I didn't finish it. Even the like probably got through like halfway through this game, and it's that level, right? And I played Tactics Advance. I beat it on a GBA. It's a great game. I'm not gonna rank it. I'm not gonna rank handheld shit. I don't really care. Here is the deal. This is it right here. Final Fantasy. I know I said it'd be quick. It really wasn't. Probably so much more to say individually. I'm really fucking thirsty. I'm really tired. I got fucking kids, and enjoy this bullshit. Again, big takeaways as usual. These are the top three. These are the top three. These are the cream of the crop. This is the elite. These are the best cast of characters and stories told in this fucking franchise. I don't want to hear it. That's what it is. That's what it is. You want to make an argument for 4? I'll hear it. You want to make an argument for 10? I'll hear it. You want to make an argument for 8? Fuck you.